Today we're going all over Portland, Oregon to show you the diverse neighborhoods that our beautiful city has to offer. We're gonna go east, west, north, and south and show you everything from fairy tale gardens to beautiful, immaculate homes on the river. And not only are we gonna show you around the different homes, we're gonna give you a deep dive into what makes these Portland neighborhoods so special and why these specific 5 neighborhoods we're looking at today are slept on secrets. Let's get going. So the first neighborhood that we're gonna check out today is the Eastmoreland neighborhood. We are deep into the southeast Portland area, and this is one of the established, slightly more expensive neighborhoods, but for a good reason. We're right next to the Eastmoreland Golf Club. The neighborhood is lined with these old growth, mature trees, and tons of these homes were built at a time where the Tudor, Craftsman, all of these styles that have an artistic flair. I had said that this is a slightly more expensive neighborhood. We are gonna get to some more affordable up and coming neighborhoods later in the video, but I'm gonna show you a great example of a home you can get in this area. And wait to the end of each home tour because I'm also gonna be giving you a price. So that way, as you're going through these different neighborhoods, you can also match it to what your budget is. Let's get going. If you're looking for matching neighborhoods like Eastmoreland here, then I would definitely be looking at Ladd's Addition and Laurelhurst. These are the type of neighborhoods that people will come flocking to. I actually take my kids trick-or-treating in this neighborhood quite often, not only because you get the king-size candy bars, but also just because it's a very beautiful area when the colors are changing in the fall. We're just starting to see some leaves drop now, but I can tell you that this neighborhood, you really experience all 4 seasons. And then places like the Laurelhurst neighborhood that I just mentioned have a place called Peacock Lane where the entire street, it's part of like this little HOA where the entire street strings up lights and puts on this massive show, and it just packs out every single year. So you've got these just established traditions in neighborhoods like this. So let's get going to this home. We'll come on into this beautiful 1937 home because I've already given this a sneak peek and you're gonna love what's inside here. You can see the pride of ownership throughout this neighborhood. So this is definitely a neighborhood where you're not quite keeping up with the Jones, but you definitely don't want to be the neighbor that just lets the home fall into disrepair. And what better way to really accentuate an awesome little stucco siding home than with this amazing climbing rose. Really looks beautiful. Now we're gonna take a look inside here and show you what this home offers. Stay tuned to the end because I'm gonna go over the price of this beautiful home. We're gonna highlight some awesome historic detailed features. I love showing clients homes like these ones. It's just so much fun to actually see a home that has had thought, attention, lots of detail put into it. Not only when it was originally built, but just it's been kept up over the years, and the spirit of the home has really been kept up with as well. So I will say that this home, the kitchen is a little bit smaller, but you got a nice little pop of color. Comment below if you like that little accent color. A little tucked away nook for the fridge with a side entrance. It's looking out to the front. And then that just goes down to a basement that has been earthquake retrofitted. So you could turn that into a full living area. This is one of the bedrooms / offices. See the backyard in a little bit. This is a long depth counter bathroom. Kind of some older tile work. I don't know, what do you think? Now we're gonna look into this bedroom here. This one is a more spacious bedroom. You've got an older closet door here. But everything down to the molding and everything is just very nice craftsman touches here. This is definitely pulling from the Tudor era with the curves going all around the home. I'm gonna watch my head. These old homes, I tend to bonk them. So some wood paneling coming up here. Tiny little, I'm gonna call this like, you know, like you're on the airplane and you get in the bathroom, a little bit bigger than that, with a tucked in bedroom nook. You know, these upstairs bedrooms, it seems like you're casting your kids up into a Harry Potter broom room, But I'll tell you that kids up to like 10, 11, 12, they actually prefer the tighter places. I think there's, at least my kids have always said, we've lived in a 1909 and a 1930. They've always said they like kind of the cozier spaces. And wait to the end of the video because we're actually gonna be like right around over there in the hills. That's the west side. We're gonna be taking you all over Portland. Let's go down to the backyard now. Okay, here we are. Nice little covered area, coffee, reading nook. This is on a decent sized lot, bigger than a city lot. Let's get going back to the corner here to show you this fireplace. Now guess the price down below because I'm gonna tell you in just a second here. You've got like extended yard. You wouldn't even know that's there. And check out this old fireplace. You could restore that. These are laurels, which I always like better than arborvitae. Laurels are hardy. I think they look better, kind of classier. Arborvitaes just tend to die, don't look great. Now, just looking at the back of this home here, we are in an established neighborhood in Portland. But quite frankly, if you're watching from Seattle or California, this would easily be a $1 million+ home in a $1 million+ neighborhood. This home is currently listed at $849,000. Now, I'll let you in on a secret. Do I think it could be had for lower? I definitely think so. I love to negotiate for clients relocating to Portland, especially if your budget is like, let's say $800,000 and you're like, I really, really want to get the most out of my budget. This would be a home I wouldn't be too afraid to show you because it really is about having a conversation and making sure that we're getting you the best deal out there on the market. Definitely reach down below to start scheduling that. You know, this home will probably be gone if you're just in the beginning stages, but another great home just like this is going to be popping up in this neighborhood. So make sure you reach down below because I'm going to be able to track that and get your boots in that door for when it is time for you to make that relocation happen. Let's get going to a more affordable neighborhood that is part of that bar dive culture of the East Portland area. So we are in the Montevilla Strip. We just finished off lunch at the Observatory, which is an amazing place to get brunch on the weekend. I had a quick bite, lamb burger and coffee, but we're gonna head down the Montevilla Strip here. This is an area in Northeast Portland, not super inner and not really further out, probably in the middle of inner and out really, on the butt end of Mount Tabor. So the Mount Tabor neighborhood has kind of already made it, and the Montevilla neighborhood here has actually started to rise with it. Now prices here are still fairly affordable. You can still find an average Portland home for the average Portland price. So you're talking like $500,000 to $600,000 for a home that most people would say is sizable and what they're looking for. So we're gonna actually head over to a home just in this neighborhood in a quick second, but I'm gonna show you kind of this old historic stretch. There's an amazing movie theater here that we're approaching called the Academy Theater that does like discount tickets, art house films. Tons of like local businesses also run their shops out of here. And then the housing gets up into like Mount Tabor, or you can go that way for more affordable housing. But yeah, you can walk Mount Tabor, this huge hill with tons of nature just in your backyard. And as you creep up to like the North Tabor, you know, the South Tabor neighborhoods, even East Tabor on this side, you can get some really nice little pockets in quiet neighborhoods that are extremely walkable. There's used to be a tea shop here, but now there's a board game shop. You can see there's people enjoying one of our last sunny days this fall. The fall weather in Portland is really some of my favorite and a great time to visit because you get the really cool nighttime, but you also get these nice warm days. We're hitting about 80 degrees. You can tell, took my jacket off because it was starting to get pretty heated. So we're walking up to the theater now. Got some old, we said that East Portland is where the dive bars are. Here's your dive bar. This place will be a lot busier on weekend nights. You know, there's me. But they're shutting down certain sections of roads making it more of like a European style. Have a coffee as you chat with friends, whatever it is. Little boutique shops. And I'm gonna show you Academy Theater here, and then we're gonna get going up to this home that butts up near Tabor. You can see that this is the Academy Theater. See, they're showing like Spirited Away from 2001. I think that's a Ghibli film. So, kind of art house. You got these cool neon lights that run underneath it. Kind of show you the retro 50s mid-century vibe that this neighborhood brings to you. We're gonna go check out an old home just up the road here. We'll chat about what it means to live in this specific neighborhood. Let's get going. All right, we are here at this old 1899 home here in the heart of Montevilla, really. I mean, this is definitely a neighborhood for people that are slightly more on the crunchy side. Like, whereas Eastmoreland is more like maybe you have landscape service coming. That's a very common theme in that neighborhood. This is where you're growing your own vegetables. And I would say that is a great distinction to determine the difference between the two neighborhoods. You can see these old Victorian-esque pillars. That is vinyl. Don't let the plastic fool you. It's not real wood. But these are real wood floors. We've got new constructions making it come back, because you know those 60s and 70s homes actually were like, sometimes you get a ceiling that's barely, you almost got to like duck. These are vaulted ceilings. Very common theme in Victorian homes. Huge tall ceilings. And we're walking through, you've got the dining room, kind of the living room, but then it pooches out into this family room with that funky shelf there. We'll show you the backyard, which goes into an alleyway in a second, but let's go through the kitchen first. All these built-ins makes for very useful storage. Now we're in the kitchen, which is quite small. And in these, I've owned a 1909, and this is 10 years younger, 10 years older, I should say. The funny thing is, like, plumbing right here in the kitchen. The home was probably built without plumbing, so when they put the plumbing in, you kind of just tacked it on where it made sense. So there's kind of a, they say don't shit where you eat, and here's a prime example of kind of shitting where you're eating. I just had to say it because it's a very common thing. Luckily, in our 1909, the bathroom was close to the kitchen, but there was a laundry room between them, so you kind of went around a corner. Still kind of a weird setup, and it's something that if you're looking at or for a very old home, we're talking pre-1915, 1910, there's gonna be some quirks of pre-plumbing, pre-electricity. Definitely wanna do a tank scan as well. Look for that tank. There's a buried oil tank in the ground, or there could be a buried septic. Really important to get a scan if one hasn't been done on homes like this. And of course, there's your boy Tim Jackson once again. I like the paint scheme here, nice contrast. Here's the main bedroom, which these older homes really had lots of space. Lots of ceiling room even on the second floor. And I will say for an 1899, which is pre like modern concrete technology as well. So you'd really be wanting to look out for foundations being a little bit like you're walking on a ship. This home actually feels fairly steady, so something to kind of keep in mind and keep your eye out for. Huge pillars coming throughout. We're gonna walk down. If I can unlock this thing. Older aluminum sliding door. Back deck, very similar to the last home in that you've got pretty decent sized backyard. This one's a little bit more overgrown, less kept. Comes with the turf. And after all, this is a 7 out of 10 neighborhood, not a 9 or 10 out of 10. I would honestly call Eastmoreland a 10 out of 10 neighborhood if it weren't for the prices. I mean, it is kind of your dream neighborhood in many respects. I don't know why we're going down here, other than to show you, I'm not too surprised now that the floors felt so steady, because this looks like it's been retrofitted. Like, that is more recently done, and this could be finished out. This is definitely more modern concrete work, and it would explain why it felt so steady up there. Well, we're gonna come out of the creepy basement. This video is not uploaded, nobody would know, and I might die. But we're gonna now get going to a slightly pricier northeast neighborhood. This is a great option if you're looking for the up and coming. And honestly, there are homes that are newer. I've sold homes built in the 50s to match that swinging, raging 1950s. Their world is your oyster, building this futuristic jet age design. The homes come with that territory too. Really love the 50s homes in this neighborhood, so you're not limited to buying a 125-year-old home here. Well, we are out here in Alameda, and this is historic little neighborhood in northeast Portland. The entire neighborhood is on this bluff, like on this cliff. So if you were to go that way, some of the homes just have these amazing views looking south. You can see the historic nature of this neighborhood. Really beautiful gardens. We're actually really similar to the Eastmoreland neighborhood in the first house that we checked out. Just a very manicured neighborhood with tons of charming homes. Like, look at that roof. You've got Fremont just down to the south here, and then you've got the Alberta Arts just to the north. So Alberta Street's got a bunch of great pubs, coffee shops, just a really great place. And what we're talking about, just these nice manicured lawns. I don't think this is an apple, some other fruit. You tell me in the comments down below. We're gonna go check out a home over here just around the corner and show you what you can get for your money in this beautiful bluff neighborhood. I mean, you can see the West Hills, and some of the homes on that bluff, man, they go for $1 million plus because of the views that they provide. Now, the last home that we saw is $600,000, and so if you recall, the first one that we looked at was $850,000. We're gonna look at something in between. You're getting that pristine neighborhood, but you're actually kind of getting the best of both worlds of what we just saw. You're getting a pristine, kind of manicured neighborhood where your neighbor could be driving a VW bus, just like this. And this is actually the house we're checking out. It's got some sightly water towers in the back. Not sure, that's probably more of a con than a pro on that front. But this is a more manicured neighborhood compared to a place like Montevillo where, tons of walkability there. You got Tabor in your backyard. But this place has kind of got the best of both worlds. You can walk to the Alberta Arts. Meanwhile, you can have super lovely neighborhoods, manicured lawns, all of that stuff. So it's got those beautiful Tudor accents. And if you've been staying up with this, guessing the prices in the comments, you got a little punch through here with some awesome, really like the checkerboard flooring. I know it's just tile, it's not fancy hardwoods, but I don't know, it really completes the age of the home. And these are laminate counters. They're not the fanciest counters. Everybody always wants to come in and redo everything. Those laminate counters are usable, so if this was your home, you just want to come in and use the heck out of the counters, get your value out of them, and then replace them later down the road. I've never been a huge fan of people buying homes and then renovating them completely from the ground up. I mean, it's your money, but I'm not going to tell you what to do with it, but that's how I would do it. Of course, you've already got these beautiful original hardwood floors. Wouldn't want to touch those other than refinishing them a little bit. And then little area rugs obviously do the trick. We're gonna actually go upstairs here before I show you the backyard. Still plenty of headspace. This does feel like a little bit of a combo of the last two homes. Big open area with some additional space. Hardwood's kind of a funky layout, but funky functional. And you can just see these windows need updated, but we're gonna peek out. Look at the neighborhood from up here. Just really quiet. You can actually see like the Lloyd District area from here. So we're gonna continue to walk and show you the second bathroom up here. Nice little built-ins, shower, and then there's another bedroom. closet space. And then we're gonna show you the backyard. Let's teleport down there. We are down here now on your little back deck. Not the biggest yard compared to the other ones. You got these. Leave a comment in the comments below. Would those water towers bug you? You know, some people don't like the spooky 5G radio towers right next to them. That does seem a little bit close, but I don't know. Would you care? Would you like that? Would you paint a big mural up there? Check out beautiful craftsman touches. And I actually missed a place down here. So first place was $850 if you're following along. Second place was $600. I'm rounding up to like the nearest 1,000. So I think the second one was $599. I missed the basement down here though. We got a cow. They are counting these. Now, I'm not a code enforcer. You can tell me if you think these are finished. I mean, technically it's got everything to be finished. It's got ingress, egress, technically a closet. I mean, this is drywall, so it is a bedroom. This one I'm not so sure about. I mean, where's your closet? They're calling that a closet then, no. But it technically has an egress window, but you've also got a massive furnace in here, so I don't know if they're listing this as a 3 or a 4 bedroom. I'd have to go back into my notes and check. So the first one was $850, second one was $600. This one is actually right smack in the middle. This one is at $725. So $125,000 less than the first one we looked at, but $125,000 more than the one we just looked at. So this one is actually a really good one to pin you in between, because you are both living in between both of those neighborhoods. You're also getting value kind of in between. The average price point in Alameda is actually closer to $900,000, which is keeping up with that Eastmoreland price point. So I don't want to kind of deceive you and say that most homes in this neighborhood are going for this price. This seems really well priced. You know, part of it's some of that basement down below, but hey, you've got some really beautiful features in the prime living space already. This place is really well kept up with, so I think the price is justified for the neighborhood to a degree. But hey, maybe you're thinking about moving to Portland. I'm here for you. We can track this home, this neighborhood, really any neighborhood you're looking in. I'm also licensed in Washington, so if you're like, do I want Portland, do I want Vancouver? I take phone calls like that all the time to go over which part of town you would be most comfortable in. You know, we're gonna go to the west side just now to show you a completely different side of Portland. So stay tuned for 2 west side homes that are very contrasted from each other. We're gonna show you around those neighborhoods, show you around those homes, and see if maybe there's a different slice of Portland that would fit what you're looking for. Let's go. So we are just minutes from Multnomah Village. We are now on the west side of Portland here, and we are checking out a pretty unique home. Wait until you see the inside of this completely remodeled home. This is a funky 40s home here. Some unique features going on, some really funky. I feel like this home is a love it or hate it, really unique style. Check out that floor to ceiling window. Let's take a peek inside here. So this was fully remodeled, and there is your floor to ceiling window. Beautiful front manicured lawn here. And we're gonna have an upstairs and a downstairs to check out. You know, for a 40s home, this is actually quite functional. I'm gonna say that this kitchen is probably more workable for 1 person. Maybe you can fit 2. Gas range. Now we're gonna go check out some bedrooms off to the side here. You've got a backyard. The front is definitely bigger than the back. We'll check out that in a second. You've got your guest bathroom. Beautiful fixtures. The tub. I'm colorblind, but that's like a gold on green accent. I'm gonna say turquoise. It could be blue. So we're just gonna pop in and show you the guest bedroom / office first. Feel free to guess the price down below. And of course, what somebody is asking is not necessarily always what it sells for. Definitely something to keep in mind in this market where things have just slowed down just a tad. We're hitting just over 3 months of inventory when, you know, 3 or 4 years ago, we had only about a month of inventory. So we got 3 times as many homes for sale as we did during COVID, really. And that's not just a shower, guys. This is the first one we've seen all day, which is kind of surprising, but that's a walk-in shower. You knew that was coming. You got a little closet here and then you toilet there. We're gonna get going upstairs, but if you've been guessing the prices in the comments below or even just reacting to them, then feel free to guess the price on this one. I'll give you a small hint, is that it's actually in between the last 2 that we saw, which again, I know we just did that, but it's between the last 2 that we saw, if you can remember those prices. Really narrow and awkward bedroom, but how they have it staged is probably the most functional. It's narrow, but I'm 6 foot and I can fit in here. But remember, we were talking about those older homes having the really tall ceilings and then they just slowly start shrinking down and down and down. You're really gonna see a shrinked ceiling here. Kickable window right there. Now we're gonna come around the corner. This place is, I'm 6 foot and I just actually bonked my head there. And this is the sewer ceiling. I mean, I don't know how I feel about having a sewage pipe at head level. Maybe that's fresh main water, but it looks like a sewage pipe to me. I don't know about that. I mean, it's a nice idea in theory, right? It is technically finished space again, but I'm not sure if I would necessarily call that finished space. But here we are in the backyard. You can see it's nicely landscaped. Let's pooch around here. These cool little flagstones. It's a very unique layout. There's the garage, little storage unit above. Unique layout of the lot. We've done a video on Multnomah Village, so if you want to get to know about this neighborhood specifically, we're in Southwest Portland, and there's a video that I did walking through Multnomah Village. It's from about 6-8 months ago, but we go over everything that is in Multnomah Village. So if you're curious about this area specifically, then I would watch that video. We're gonna next head over to a place that is honestly luxury and unique beyond any of the other places we've seen so far. And this one's really gonna be kind of a treat to see what the ultra wealthy can afford if you're moving to Portland. Now, if you were guessing the prices on the home so far, this one is priced at $650,000, turnkey, ready to go. It's got some funky things going on, so you know, maybe if you're moving down, this one will still be available for you to make an offer on. Let's get going to the next home. So a common thing about living on the west side, as we're getting to the last home of today's neighborhood tours, is that you're gonna have a little bit less walkability, but in exchange, you're gonna have a little bit more greenery. So we're talking kind of a hillier experience, but there are some eclectic neighborhoods tucked in really a little bit further north or inner from here, where you're paying a little bit more premium for a little bit more of a tucked away walkable neighborhood. So there are some around. I think it's a common misconception that the west side of Portland is totally unwalkable. That's not true. It's just walkable in its own little pockets. Now the next place that we're going to, I can tell you, is not going to be very walkable, but just to give you a hint, it is going to be fairly swimmable. So, or kayakable, or however you want to navigate the water. So let's get going. Okay, so that is the most stately Dunthorpe. And just on the other side, you can actually see Waverly Country Club, which is the most prestigious golf course in the entire Metro Portland area. Between that, you're gonna see what lies before us and this beautiful home. This is a unique one. I've seen a lot of unique homes over my lifetime. I've walked over, I mean, I can't even count. It's gotta be over 5,000 homes, but check this out. We are gonna walk over a railway line to get to this home. So that's just the first of many adventures here. Let's take a peek inside this really unique home. So not to spoil any surprises, we're in the front area here. Beautiful roses. Beautiful Tudor style home. That's gonna give you a sneak peek of what's to come, but you've got a hot tub. You open that up, you can see across the river there, some people finishing up a round of golf. Eastmoreland Country Club, or sorry, that is not Eastmoreland. That is Waverly Place. Eastmoreland's a little bit further that way, where we started off this morning. It's been a long day. We'll go check out the backyard in a little bit. Let's first take a peek inside this home and get a look at those views. Now you got a beefcake air conditioning on this place. You've been guessing the prices down below. This will be one to definitely start guessing away. So out there is the Willamette Shore trolley. So there will be a trolley line that goes through there. Look at this cable that holds, I've actually seen this before. It's like a cable that pulls the roof together. It's a design that actually, you know, structurally sound. Unique grill on this place. Very vaulted ceilings. Definitely a unique home. And that is your view. Wow. We'll get to that in a little bit. Let's take a peek at this funky house. Very open concept. You got a little like tugboat captain hideaway there where you could have a little corner breakfast nook. You got the kitchen here, workable with a gas range. Man, but the views, it's really the views out here that sell this place. I mean, this is an unparalleled, you've almost got, this has got to be one of the best views of the golf course at least. Beautifully maintained. I mean, I'm just watching somebody getting ready to tee it up and take a drive right now. Not gonna wait forever for you, buddy. Beautiful. Let's go take a peek upstairs really quickly. We started off in a fairy tale neighborhood and we are now ending in a fairy tale neighborhood. I'm gonna hazard a guess that is where a toilet was. That all got pulled down, but you got a sink. Tiny little deck. You got your own boat dock though. Having a slip is actually hugely important to demand a price on these things. Ask me how I know that. And you've got nice little vault from up here. Let's go check the downstairs. You know, before we go downstairs, I really just gotta note that door is so unique. Look at that cutout. That is so cool. That matches into there. A little mudroom into a bathroom. And now we're gonna go downstairs. And I've just got to give a shout out to the listing agent, Kirk, for letting me show this really unique property. And let's get some lights going. There's your utility room. Nice and cool down here. So a lot of the space opens up down here. You get a lot more room. And another deck. And I'll show you the views off of the deck, so just give me a little bit and we'll get to those views. We just came around the side and this is just one of your side bedrooms, or sorry, bathrooms here. There's a little like unique dog house that's under the stairs. And then finally, I've got to show you this bedroom, which is really unique. It's got its own little side entrance with its own little side deck. And you've even got a view of the Sailwood Bridge right there into OHSU. Really groovy. But what we're gonna see here is perhaps my favorite room of the entire house. You've got that commanding view of the river. Just imagine after you've had your morning coffee on the deck, you don't just have a shower, not just a walk-in shower, but your Christopher walk-in shower to match. There is me, of course. Been a long day. I am gonna be honest, I'm starting to run out of fumes a little bit. Normally five homes and neighborhood features. That's a lot. So if you're thinking about, running the distance with me and you want to put feet on the ground like I have today, so the jet ski goes by. But if you're thinking about putting the feet on the ground, you want a commanding view like this, where you can have a place to sit after your morning coffee. I am here to go the distance with you. I will tell you, I got a little bit hot today, and I think I'm just barely fighting something, not anything major. This isn't a complaint, just more to say I am excited and energetic about doing these tours with you, doing the neighborhood tours, doing all of that. But I put a ton of effort into it. So if you are thinking of moving here, really what keeps my channel going is helping clients, helping people like you who are watching and moving up here, considering the move, really having a phone conversation, looking into all the options, neighborhoods, and then we get boots on the ground and start touring unique properties. So that goes down to your boat slip. We'll walk down there in just a second. As I was saying, that if you're thinking about moving to the Portland area, I'm here to show homes of any caliber. This is definitely the most expensive, most exclusive home that we have seen today. And if you've been guessing the prices, today is your last chance, or just this last minute's your last chance to guess. We are sitting at a $2 million property here, historic, prestigious Dunthorpe. We talked about some walkable east side neighborhoods, and now we're on the west side. You can actually see the east and the west side divide right where we're standing. So yeah, this is definitely on the more prestigious end. And I know that most of you are probably shopping closer to that 500,000 or 600,000. You're an everyday man like me. Totally understand that. But maybe there's somebody shopping and they are moving from a place like Seattle or Los Angeles. This real estate would go for so much more if it was in a different city. It's just so cool. I mean, I know $2 million is probably a lot of money for anybody. But if you think about it from a relative standpoint, you got a view of downtown. You've got a view of one of the coolest golf clubs in the entire Pacific Northwest. You've got the river at your disposal. There's like an old steamship type thing just right there. This is awesome. We're gonna go walk to the end, and we'll just show you the last bits of this property as the sun's going down. This is just beautiful. Okay, we are coming around the side. So it is a funky layout. We came from that way, and now we're gonna go through this gate. You can see you got like a gazebo up there. I'm gonna walk down these stairs. You can tell these people were dog people because they got a little dog run off to the side as well. Somebody's out enjoying the boat. Little unique water feature. Something tells me that that's naturally fed because that's just going into the river. And you can see we'll follow this path, why not? Beautiful. This is stuff you don't see every day. Generator. Got a generator on this guy. Why not? Could use some TLC. Put a nice little gazebo here. And as we walk down the stairs to the boat slip, this is just one of many homes, one of many neighborhoods. So if you're looking to move to the area, definitely subscribe. Last week we were in Vancouver, completely different area, I know. But I went over all the options over there as well. And today we were all over the east and west side of Portland. We're gonna get into the suburbs of Portland next. These are my longer videos where my more dedicated subscribers are staying to the end. So, if you're watching this, I have a lot of people reach out saying, I've been watching for a year. I've been watching for 18 months. I really like that video. They'll be calling me up and saying, hey, Tim, ready to make the move now. What's the next move? We sit down, we get coffee, we do Zoom. Maybe you jump on a phone call, you give me a text. We'll have a chat about what your next move is. We're here. Wow, what a day. We're ending it on the river This is so cool. Even look at the neighbor's property. I mean, for some of you, this is just peeking into the lives. I don't think I will ever own a home quite like this, but boy, is it fun to dream, right? Thanks for watching this week's video. This has just been a pleasure to go from the east side to the west side, show you all different neighborhoods, get a little bit of taste of what Portland's like. I mean, this is just a small dose. There are just so many more neighborhoods that define Portland. And so if you're thinking about moving to Portland or Vancouver, then yeah, subscribe, reach down below at any time. Thanks for watching this week's video. Watch this video next, and I'll see you next week.